Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. What a great day to talk football. Yes. I am just polishing off an energy drink. I have a full cup of coffee. Oh, boy. Oh, man. I am extremely jacked up today. I'm going to check over on YouTube just to make sure I'm good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and discuss. We're going to lead the show off. It's a lot different than what I was really wanting. I actually wanted to do something completely different. I was going to talk about the NFL draft. However, today is a very big trade. Orlando Brown has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. It looks like I am good to go on YouTube. So, it is an energy drink. I'm not on Coke. Love that trade. We're going to break this down into a lot of detail. I got Funk and Stevie in the house. Guys, welcome, man. We're going to talk a lot about this trade. I'm going to go over my mock draft. However, my mock draft has the Chiefs picking 31st. Wednesday, I'm going to have my updated 1 through 32 picks, and then I'm also going to reveal picks for the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Houston Texans. So, yes. All right. Now, hopefully I can do this correctly here because I really want to show you guys just this right here. And I'm going to have to eliminate the banner here. All right. If you're not aware, this is straight from the horse's mouth. This is the trade. The Kansas City Chiefs get Orlando Brown, a 2021 second-round pick, and a 2022 sixth-round pick. The Baltimore Ravens get a 2021 first-round pick. It's pick number 31. Kansas City's third and fourth round picks. Now, Kansas City does have 2 fourth-round picks. I have that up right now. Okay, the second fourth-round pick, it should be pick 144. No, I'm sorry, the first pick, which is 136. Okay, so Chiefs do have pick 144 in round number 4, and then in 2022, they get a fifth-round pick. Okay, so this is the trade. All right. Man, Funk, I know Funk's jacked up. Funk's not even a Chiefs fan, and I know he's jacked up about this trade. So, all right. So here's the drill. Let's break down, before we break down the trade, let's break down Orlando Brown. If you're not familiar with Orlando Brown, he was an excellent tackle coming out of Oklahoma. Had tape that could have been a first-round tackle. However, and I normally don't use Wikipedia, but I do remember this. However, he had a 5.85 40-yard dash, an 82-inch vertical. I'm sorry, an 82-inch broad jump. He had an 82-inch vertical. He was gone the first round. A 19.5 vertical and bench press 225, 14 pounds. At his pro day, he did significantly better, but everybody kind of knows about those pro days. Here's the thing. If you don't know the whole story, Orlando Brown Sr., his dad, was the player who was the left tackle, Pro Bowl left tackle for the Ravens, who had the referee throw the flag in his eye, and he got hit in the eye. He, as a guy who was nicknamed Zeus, a 6'7", 345, 350-pound man, threw down the 160-pound retired ref to the ground, got ejected, and he was going to get kicked out of the NFL. But what happened was Excuse me, it's not cocaine. Okay, just playing, guys. It was found out that the referee actually did permanent damage to his eye, and the NFL ended up changing the flags. They had to move him from left tackle to right tackle because he couldn't see anything out of his left eye. He ended up being traded to the Cleveland Browns, who later moved him inside the guard. But after that eye injury, he ended up being somebody that teams knew they could take advantage of his volatile nature. He was ejected quite often and was known to be able to fight anybody. Now, picking a fight with a guy who's 6'7", 350, even on a football field, is not the smartest thing, but you knew you could get a penalty and a possible ejection out of the guy. However, his son hasn't been known to have that temper, but he's the same build, 6'8", 355, is what is most commonly seen, maybe 6'7", but I mean, he's a massive man. All right. This is a big dude. But a lot of teams thought that after his combine, he would have to play inside. Almost universally, if he was to come out, Orlando Brown Jr. comes out of this draft, he's like a 5th or 6th round draft pick. But the reason why he was a 3rd round draft pick is the Ravens knew his dad. His dad was a Pro Bowl tackle. And he ended up being chosen in the 3rd round. Now, I want to be very clear. If you looked at him on tape, he looked like a 1st round player. After the combine and after his pro day, almost every team except for the Ravens said that he had to play guard. And his draft value just started to plummet. So what happened is that the Ravens chose him in the 3rd round. He started early in his career as a starting right tackle, played really, really well. Ronnie Staley, the starting left tackle for the Ravens, 6 games into the season went down. I believe it was an Achilles injury. I could be wrong about that. So what happened was Orlando Brown switched from the right side to the left side. Okay. Now, a lot of people do this in Madden and it works. It doesn't work in the NFL. Okay. I want to be very clear. It doesn't work on the NFL. It did for Baltimore. After the season, Baltimore had every plan to put Staley back at the left tackle, Orlando Brown at the right tackle. The difference between a left and a right tackle in the NFL is about $30 million. Because he was a 3rd round pick and he's entering year 4, he would be a free agent after this season. He refused to go back to the right side for the Baltimore Ravens. He said, if you're not going to put me on the left side, I'm going to demand a trade. He was not going to play for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's been trying to ship him, looking for a team that needs a left tackle. Now, I'm going to point this out. I got made fun of mostly on Facebook for my mock draft of the Kansas City Chiefs video. They're like, oh, too late. What's this for? Ha, ha, ha. If you watch my video, if you watch my Chiefs video, I said, I can promise you, I'm quoting me from the video. I promise you the Chiefs are not going to have a rookie protect Patrick Mahomes blindside. I gave 3 reasons why the Chiefs will not draft a tackle with pick number 31 in the NFL draft, because I knew for a fact the Kansas City Chiefs were not going to draft a rookie to protect Patrick Mahomes. Guess what? I am right. I don't regret the video. For those who laughed or made smart-ass comments about it, you obviously didn't watch it. You obviously don't know what you're talking about. The Chiefs were going to go ahead and attack either free agency or they're going to take Lucas Nang, last year's 3rd round pick, and put him on the left side. But they were not using the 31st pick in the draft to protect Patrick Mahomes' backside. That was never going to happen. Okay? So I got that out of the air. But you took a guy who has 10 games experience on the left side in Baltimore. And now he becomes Kansas City Chiefs starting left tackle. All right. A lot of Chiefs fans are very, very, very excited about this. I am not. I'm excited. All right. However, However, I'm just going to let you know now. I'm going to say it. Baltimore won this trade. All right. Baltimore hands down won this trade. They had a player who was not returning to that team. They had a disgruntled player who had no chance at taking the left tackle position. Yes, he played well for those 10 games. He was going back to the right side. Ronnie Stanley, who was injured, he's coming back. He's going to be the left tackle. You have a disgruntled player. He was not going to be part of the Ravens. The Ravens won this trade, and they won this trade big. Let's just get that out of the way right now. There is no doubt about this. Now, if he ends up being a Pro Bowl left tackle or the Chiefs starting tackle for the next 7-10 years, great. Great move by the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Ravens got a buttload of picks for a player who is not going to be there. Now, I'm going to say this. I blasted the Buffalo Bills last year when they traded for Stephon Diggs. And I said, you watch, Justin Jefferson's going to be just as good as Diggs. And Justin Jefferson was a very, very, very good wide receiver. But the Bills ended up going from wild card losers to AFC championship contenders. So that you have to take a look at. Have I been wrong before? Yeah, I was wrong last year. I thought the Stephon Diggs trade was a big win for the Vikings. I thought it was a steal. And it turned out to be the Bills went to the AFC championship game. The Vikings didn't even make the playoffs. So when I say that, hey, Baltimore won this trade, absolutely, I think that they won this trade. But have I been wrong before? Sure. Am I wrong now? Maybe. But here's what Baltimore gets. They get a first-round pick, a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick for a player who was not going to be there in 2022. I thought that the Ravens would get a second, not a first, third, fourth, and fifth. So, and then for Chiefs fans who think that the Chiefs got a Pro Bowl left tackle. Well, yeah, they did, but Baltimore's offense is one thing. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is another thing. They're night and day, folks. You got a tackle whose primary concern is blocking for the run, whose now primary concern is pass protection. In the AFC West, where you have Von Miller, you have Nick Bosa. The Raiders got. I'm not too worried about that. But this is not a situation where the Chiefs are getting a Pro Bowl left tackle. They're getting a good left tackle in Baltimore's system. Are they getting a good left tackle in a pass-heavy offense that Andy Reid is running? That's undetermined. But it better work because they gave up a first, a third, and a fourth. Yeah, they get a second-round pick in return. Here's another thing you have to understand. They need to pay him. The Kansas City Chiefs need to pay him. So I'm going to say this again. Baltimore won this trade hands down. That is not a debate. I see the comments in here. You're arguing with me. I'm going to look at them all. I'm going to answer them all. Baltimore won this. I'm a Chiefs fan. I have had season tickets since 1989. Baltimore won this trade big time. All right. Now let's hear what you have to say. And I'm going to start at the beginning, man. Oh, man. Love the trade. Why am I? Oh, man. I'm not on drugs. All right. Dan is on a budget now. He doesn't leave anything to waste. One draft trade chart, Draft Tech. That's the one I use. Shows the value given up, roughly equivalent to that of the 42nd pick overall. Okay, I get what you're doing, Stevie. You're talking about trade value with the point system. I'm looking at it a little differently because I'm looking at a player who is not going to be with the Ravens in 2022. All right. He wasn't going to be there. The second round pick is huge because Kansas City's been excellent at getting really good players in later rounds. But giving up a first, third, and fourth for a guy who you might have been able to get for a third, that's not a win, man. I imagine Orlando Brown Jr. on the left and Spencer Brown on the right, 6'8" monsters. Excuse me. One thing I need to point out, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the Chiefs are a pass-heavy team. The Ravens are a run-heavy team. The Chiefs are not becoming a run-heavy team in 2021. Okay, let's get that very clear. The Chiefs are not going to be a 50-50 team. The Chiefs are going to pass a lot more than they're going to run. Let's get that out of the way right now. Fuck! Not on drugs, man. Chiefs are making a concerted effort to improve run blocking. I don't know if Pat wasn't handing off on the RPOs because he didn't trust the O-line or because he wanted to sling it. Andy Reid's always been a pass-first coach. That's not going to change. It doesn't matter who the offensive line has. They're going to be throwing the ball. Denver Gator! What's up, brother? Six says, let's go. Let's do it, brother. Let's do it. But this certainly gives Pat blindside protection, and it gives them a side of the line that they can run off of. Okay. Run, yes. How is he going to handle pass protection the majority of the time? Pass protecting for Lamar Jackson and pass protecting for Lamar Jackson and pass protecting for Patrick Mahomes. Night and day. Night and day. It's not the same thing. To sit here and say that you got a Pro Bowl left tackle when you don't know if you got a Pro Bowl left tackle. You got a guy who doesn't have foot speed. You got a guy who's a mauler. Now you're putting him in a pass-heavy offense. There's some question marks there. This is not a plug-and-play deal. He's going to be a Pro Bowl left tackle. That's not the case at all. I argue with people all the time, especially now with the Lions needing a right tackle, about guys not being able to move from the right to the left, and that's another reason I want Tevin Jenkins. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Some players can move from the left to the right side. We drafted Eric Fisher as a rookie. We put him on the right side for year one, and then we begged Brandon Albert to stay on the left side. We gave him a 1-year deal, a big, nice 1-year deal. And Andy Reid told him, I said, look, after this season, we'll move Fisher over to the left. You'll get paid big time. He went to Miami, made like $50 million. So that's a situation with Eric Fisher, but he didn't come in day one and be a left tackle. He played on the right side. Now, he did make the transition. It wasn't a smooth transition, though. A lot of people that play Madden, I see this a lot of Madden people, is that they think a right tackle can be like if you're a really good right tackle, you can be an average left tackle. That's not always the case. And then some players in college, play right tackle, then left tackle. It's completely different. It's completely different. But a guy like Tevin Jenkins, I think, could play right or left side. I don't think that you could rotate guys like Orlando Brown did. The Ravens really rolled the dice. They were like, okay, look, we're going to change some things in our offense. Now, keep in mind, the offense they run was pretty much a college type of offense, involves a lot of Lamar Jackson running. So it's a little different for the Ravens to go ahead and do this. But is this a guy who's going to excel in the Kansas City Chiefs offense? It's questionable. It's very questionable. And I do want to emphasize that. Dustin, JC, glad to be back. Been busy. I know you have been, man. I want to talk a lot. I know you and Funk made some really great comments about Justin Fields, but with this big trade, I'm kind of going to focus on this for right now. But I do want to talk some Justin Fields. I want to hear what you guys have to say. The neurological disorder is something that we're going to talk about quite a bit. I hope you're not talking about me joking with you after the trade. No, Stevie. God, man, the last thing I want to do is insult you. God, no. I think very highly of your opinions. Now, I'm going to be very clear. This is a big thing about the DAN show is that you can always disagree with me. You're always welcome to disagree with me. I offer my opinion, and then I want to hear from you, and I hear what you have to think, and you have to say. So yeah, dude, I want to hear disagreements. That's the whole point of the show, man. So God, last thing I want to do is offend one of the guys who put in some really great comments in my show. Not a big fan of Jenkins. Dude gets beaten by good speed rushers off the edge. And this is an interesting thing, Dustin, and you're going to find that all 32 teams handle things like this. There's going to be teams, even scouts on the same team are going to say, hey, I like this guy, and another scout's going to say, no, I don't like this guy. I got Funk who loves Jenkins, and you're not a big fan of him. So here we go. I mean, this is kind of the whole thing about the draft. That's why even the best draft experts, they'll do a mock draft. The very best one will get 6 out of 32 right because there's so much disagreements among players. And there'll be several players at mock drafts. There's going to be one guy who's going to go a lot higher than everyone thinks, and there's going to be one guy who just free falls. That's the best thing about the NFL draft. I haven't even mentioned this, but I'm going live Wednesday of my mock draft. I have to make a few changes. But I do have a lot of changes. By the way, spoiler alert, I may have Carolina go and tackle instead of corner at pick 8. I don't particularly care for Brown, but the Chiefs essentially gave up the 42nd overall pick for an established 2-time Pro Bowl player. That's a good point. Definitely a good point. Actually, it's an excellent point. And when he says 42nd, he's using the draft tech chart. Basically assigns a point value for a player. So that's an excellent point. And that's something I didn't look at. And Stevie points it in here again. Yeah. You have to look at draft trade value. I get that, but what I think Baltimore won is that they got rid of a player who was not going to be there, and they get a first, a third, and a fourth, an additional first-round pick. You're the Baltimore Ravens, all right? You have your starting left tackle coming back, all right? You have to replace they lose some people in free agency, just like every team does. But basically, you're the Baltimore Ravens. You win a playoff game, and now you get 2 first-round picks. Granted, 27 and 31's low, but you still get 2 first-round picks. I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, you've got to be ecstatic. Yeah, you would probably, in a perfect world, you'd love to have Orlando Brown return to the right side. You have your Pro Bowl right tackle. You have your – I don't know if Staley was a Pro Bowl left tackle, but he was really good. He was better than Orlando Brown, according to the Ravens. I mean, there wasn't any debate. The Ravens like, Staley's coming back. He's left tackle. Brown's going to go to the right side. Brown said no. People in Baltimore were really furious about this. They're like, dude, just go to the right side, play for a year. Free agency comes around, you get a big deal. He said, no, I'm going to sit out. Kansas City gives a first, third, and fourth. That's a lot of draft capital for a guy who wasn't going to play. No doubt Matt Holmes needed help, put him next to Thurney, and they have a good line. Yeah, the Chiefs overall, I'm really impressed with how Kansas City got very aggressive. They gave $80 million to Thurney, and if I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. Austin Blythe will return, he's a new signing as center. Kyle Long talked out of retirement. LDT comes back. I'm butchering the name of Asamoah, he comes back as guard. He was a guy Kansas City was really, really high on. I thought he may have been mismatched in this type of offense, but no, Kansas City loved running behind this dude who was a road grader and really fitted in well. So the Chiefs are bringing back 2 tackles. Lucas Nang, the 3rd-round pick from last year, he may not even get a chance to start. That's another thing that you have to talk about, who's going to start on the right side. That's actually, I think, going to be a job open. So we'll have to find out what goes on here. So I'm going to drink some more of my energy drink. God, I'm jacked up here today. But the Kansas City Chiefs very aggressive in addressing the offensive line, which I really like. This is something kind of new and different. So I do like the fact that they're aggressive. I also like the fact that your $500 million quarterback has an upgraded offensive line. I just think the Chiefs gave up way too much. I really do. I think Baltimore wins this trade hands down. I don't even think it's debatable that the Ravens won this trade. And I'm a Chiefs fan. The value of this trade swung to the Chiefs with the Ravens throwing in 50. Yes. And I'm not including that when I keep ranting. First, third, and fourth. The second round pick is thrown in. So that is a good thing because Kansas City has done really, really well in later rounds. Yes, they did have a good line. Here's the thing, ideally it's going to be better, but you don't know that. There's a lot of unknowns. Will this offensive line gel in time? Will this offensive line be in sync? You're going to have here's the deal. You're going to have 5 new starters on this offensive line. 5. Unless Asamoah returns to the starting role. And he played left guard. I think Thurney's going to be left guard, so you're going to have him go over to the right side. So you have 5 new players on the offensive line. This is the most complex offense in the NFL. The Ravens probably had the least complex offense in the NFL. So having 5 new starters on the offensive line, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. It may not be seamless either. They may struggle early in the season. They have a better line balance between pass and run now, hopefully, and that's hopefully because there's no guarantee that this offense is going to be good early on. And I'm sorry, man. Geez, I am really behind on comments. All right. Fitter, our GM, says there's no different in talent from late first round to second round. No, there's not. And that's why I always say, Dustin, picks 33 through 39, I call those the gold picks because you're going to get players that got first round ability or that should go in the first round. Those are the picks that you want. Those are the gold picks. Those high second round picks, in my opinion, are better than first round picks because I could see every team from, well, not anymore. Actually, you know what? Let's start at 28 past the Ravens. Ravens pick at 27. I could see the Saints, the Packers, the Bills, and Baltimore at 31 and Tampa Bay at 32 trying to trade down. Could Baltimore at 31 trade down? Absolutely. I think that they could get creative. Baltimore's always an interesting team in the draft. They could take 27 and 31, go up in the first round. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. I think they'll stay at 27 and at 31. If they get a good enough offer, they'll go down. That's just my opinion. But you're 100% correct. The Lions have 2 good blocking tight ends, and one of them can just be put on the edge to at least chip the speed guys back inside to nullify the really fast guys. But the kid is absolutely a kneecap biker. All right, Dustin disagrees with me. Chiefs won the trade. I disagree. I think Baltimore won this. Both teams won. Thus, trade really helps both teams. You are correct. This is a good deal. It is a debate. Absolutely, it's a debate. Absolutely, it's a debate. I'm telling you this. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Baltimore easily wins. I would have thought a second or a third would be the draft value that you want for a player who does not going to be there. The Chiefs gave up way too much. If you want to say it's worth the 42nd pick, sure, I can see that. But ultimately, Baltimore's getting a first, a third, and a fourth. All right, you're getting multiple draft picks. All right, and draft capital for a team like the Ravens is really good. People, I kept on seeing on social media, why is Baltimore trying to help their rival? No, they're not trying to help. They hurt Kansas City. There's no guarantee that Orlando Brown fits this system. There's no guarantee at all. He's a mauler. He's a guy that you want for a run power team. Not a team that throws the ball 60, 65% of the time. No guarantee this is going to work. The Chiefs rolled the dice here. And I do like it as a Chiefs fan. But I think it's a no-brainer. Baltimore wins this trade hands down. One pride was, I love this, man. The Coke is. I'm not on Coke. Man, this is awesome, man. We got some love here. Feeling good. We got Darnold if Jones doesn't fall to us. Let me ask you something. I know I'm really behind here, Dustin, on picks, but let me ask you just a simple question. If Jones is available, would you want him at 8? Just throwing that out there. Even though I got lots of people disagreeing with me here, that's the whole point of this show, man. It's just to get together and talk football. Nobody has to agree with me. But do give me a thumbs up anyway. Do give me a thumbs off. So, phone cross Kevin Jenkins off your list. Dan, they don't know. They're not going to. The Chiefs are always going to be a pass heavy. The Chiefs are always going to be a pass-heavy team. I'm kind of hoping it leans more towards 60-40, and they try to run the ball a lot more just to protect Mahomes. I'm really hoping that there's going to be a lot of big leads built up. CEH, I think that once he gets in the NFL, I'm really hoping he has a big year. I think it hurt Kansas City when he was kind of banged up. When I say hurt, I'm talking Super Bowl. I don't think he was near 100%. I do agree there. I really hope so. Danny, how you feel about everyone saying Mac is a statue and he runs a 4.72 on his pro day and a statue argument disappeared as fast as it came? You know what? I thought it was a statue. But you know what I like? This actually shows that because Joe Burrow ran a lot. Joe Burrow was pretty active. He had no problem taking off down the field. I never saw Mac Jones did it. And here's the thing. I actually didn't think he could. I thought he would add 5.02 speed instead. Little known fact, Patrick Mahomes ran a 5.03 and he runs. So yeah, I think Mac Jones can run. And I think it's part of the reason that people keep saying he's going to be number 3. He's going to be number 3. I brought up my draft, but being that we get a lot of talk about the draft here, about the trade instead of the draft, we may not even do it. We may just wait till Wednesday and offer my mock draft on Wednesday. But I think this is a big reason why people are taking Jones at 3. I don't think so. And I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get all the comments in here. And look, man, I'm open for debate, man. Stevie brought up some great picks. If you figure out the value, it's like the 42nd pick. Would the 42nd pick in the draft be worth a franchise left tackle? That's a great point. I didn't look at it that way. Have you guys seen the Smoker commercial with Little and Hawk going WWE style? Dude, that's awesome. I saw it. I loved it. I just wish Hawk was a little more involved. And he's actually got more of a personality than I thought. That's pretty cool. But it's pretty cool. He says Little. He means George Kittle. It's actually pretty cool. By the way, follow Denver Gator on Twitter. Follow Denver Gator. I do. But no. Because he about to go to the Ravens. Oh, you're talking Tevin Jenkins. That's a possibility. There's a possibility. When I get to my final mock on Wednesday, we'll kind of go over that in a little more detail. The trade, I was going to go over my picks 1 through 32 with Kansas City at 31 and Orlando Brown staying in Baltimore. So this trade kind of threw off my last couple picks in the draft. So Brown, Thurney, Blythe, and Long, all better run blockers than what we've had. That's all true. Asamoah, at the beginning of the season, he was a monster. Look at what they did against the Houston Texans week 1. I mean, CEH, I think, had 130 yards his first game as a pro. A lot of that was they just ran right behind Asamoah. So, yeah, the run line is going to be big. But I'm telling you this, Andy Reid's not going to be a run-heavy coach. So, yeah. It's actually really good. If you guys don't follow Denver Gator on Twitter, you're wrong. He sent it to me. It's awesome. If you look at the sheer number of RPOs Andy ran, it was a lot of Pat, who's the one that chose to pass. Yes, I agree. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there may be several times a game that Pat Mahomes hands off the ball instead, but the Kansas City Chiefs are always going to be a passing offense. This is a passing offense. This is not going to be a 50-50 offense. This is going to be a pass heavy offense. So I think that you're going to be, now maybe I'm wrong. I mean, look, Stevie, I'm the first person to admit when they're wrong. Hey, I was wrong about the Diggs trade. I blasted the Bills. I said this was idiotic. You could have got Justin Jefferson instead. Justin Jefferson goes to Minnesota. You didn't. What was it? Diggs is on a 5-year, $75 million contract. No, it's not worth it. Buffalo screwed up. Then they get to the AFC Championship game, and they look loaded. The Bills look loaded. Now I have to admit, I had the Bills as my AFC favorites. Now I'm kind of leaning like, I don't know. Because, I mean, the Chiefs really improved their offensive line. And I will say this. So this is my opinion and my opinion only. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Plain and simple. There's not a better quarterback. The Chiefs have a good offensive line. They win the Super Bowl. Plain and simple. They had a good offensive line when they played Tampa Bay in the regular season, even though it was 27-24, I mean, come on, it wasn't really that close of a game. I know, three-point difference. What are you talking about? Chiefs jumped out to a 17-0 lead and just kind of just, whatever. And by the way, if you watched the Chiefs last year, that's kind of what they did. They got up big, and then if you came back, they're just like, whatever, we got Mahomes. We can turn the pedal up. We can turn the gas on at any time. So, yeah. Thurney's the best damn guard in the game. He better be. Chiefs gave him $80 million. And Gator, no offense, but your offer to Stafford was embarrassing. John Jurgens, man. Yes. Welcome, brother, man. I've never seen you before, so welcome to the Dan Show. Hopefully you subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Even if you disagree with me, give me a thumbs up. But if you want to give me a thumbs down, that's okay, man. Hopefully he is not a one-year rental and we draft our future left tackle. Wow. Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you this. If he's a one-year rental, the Chiefs really lost this trade because they gave up a first, a third, and a fourth. You can't give up that much draft capital for a guy who's only going to be there for 1 year. Now, is there a chance that you play him at the left side, move him to the right side? Maybe. But wow, wow, very surprised about that. But welcome here, man. You're welcome, brother. Super Show Pat has to be willing to hand off on RPOs on the boxes light, and they need better run blocking in order to do that. So I am going to disagree. No, I get what you're saying. Now, Tampa Bay had the best run defense in the NFL last year, so Kansas City could not run against Tampa Bay regardless. They could have the best offensive line in football. They weren't running against that defense. That defense was solid against the run, but they had a couple rookie corners. I knew that if the Super Bowl was going to be close, the Chiefs could win. But if the Chiefs got behind by like 21-6, which is what happened, at halftime, they were going to lose because that front seven Tampa Bay had was awesome. The Chiefs could have any type of offensive line. They weren't running against that defense. That defense was built to stop the run. But the problem is that when Kansas City became a pass-heavy team, the pass rush was too good against a depleted offensive line. Now you take this offensive line, go back and play Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. Who wins? I'd like to think Kansas City would. I really do, because the weakness of Tampa Bay was their corners. That was the weakness of the team. But when they got down and Tampa Bay was just able to go after the quarterback, Pat Mahomes was running for his life. So, but man, Stevie, I want you to disagree with me, brother, man. I love it. I love it, man. I mean, dude, I think you know your stuff. I like your YouTube channel. I was kind of hoping to come out with some more videos, but that's okay. But no, I don't want you to feel like I've insulted you. Dude, always disagree. True story. Last year, Funk disagreed with me on every single pick. We couldn't agree on anything. Dan is right. I love Moten, but yeah. Moten, by the way, is a stud. Moten's a stud. And by the way, Dustin, spoiler alert, Wednesday, pick number 8 might be a tackle. might be a tackle. And if it is, it's because you pointed it out. Greg Little, I've loved Greg Little coming out of Ole Miss, and I'm going to drink some energy drink. It's not cocaine. I loved Greg Little. I actually thought he was going to be a first-round pick. I wish I could tell you I changed it to Burns. I actually think I changed it to guy who's in Montez Sweat. I actually think I changed it to Sweat. And then when Little went in the second round, I thought it was a home run because I thought he was going to be a starter. But in 2 years, he's played, I think, 8 games. I mean, 25%. So, I get why you want a left tackle. However, if Little was guaranteed to stay healthy, and also the left tackle, the swing tackle you got from Dallas, he was in Kansas City the year the Chiefs won a Super Bowl. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. He started about 10 games at left tackle. Actually played pretty good. Good swing tackle. Don't want him starting all 16, though. And I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. Orlando Brown Jr. certainly isn't my first choice, but if you're the Chiefs and you can get him for pick 42, you take it. And this is the Chiefs paying a premium for being the best team in the AFC. You are right about the Chiefs being the best team in the AFC last year. I'm almost thinking it's Buffalo right now, to tell you the truth. I really could make a strong case it's Buffalo. I really thought that losing Watkins and there's a few other players Kansas City lost that we have an issue with Sammy Watkins, Rashad Breeland. We haven't re-signed yet. Buffalo, I think, is really loading up. Right now, Buffalo may be the best team in the AFC. Last year didn't matter, man. But I get what you're saying. If you're saying it's the 42 pick, I get that. But one thing I want to emphasize is it's not the 42nd pick. All right? You're giving up 4 draft picks, 3 this year. You're multiple picks. You're giving up a 3rd and a 4th. That's a lot, man. Your 1st, 3rd, and 4th. It's not the pick number. If it's 4, okay. If it's pick 42 and that's it, I love it. But it's not. You're giving up a 1st, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th the next year. Yeah, you get a 6th next year in return, and you do get a 2nd. That's key. But you're giving up multiple draft picks. That's the thing you got to understand. It's not the 42nd pick. It's multiple picks. Multiple picks. Last year in the 4th round, we picked Javaris Sneed. He's probably a starting corner. The 3rd round pick was Lucas Nang. He would have started in the Super Bowl. Those were 2 starters, right? And our 1st round pick, CEH. So look at that. Look at it that way. Look at it this way. You're giving up 3 starters. That's why I think Baltimore wins this, because they could get 3 starters out of losing a player who wasn't going to be on the team. So nothing for 3 starters. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Now, if you look at it that way, hey, 42nd pick for Brown. Yeah. Chiefs, great job, Kansas City. Yeah. Mack isn't a statue. Trask is a statue. Mack moves well in the pocket. It's more of a traditional drop back guy. People don't comprehend the difference between dual threat or mobile guys. No, I agree, because Patrick Mahomes is listed by a lot of people as a dual threat quarterback. He is not a dual threat quarterback. Deshaun Watson is not a dual threat quarterback. These are guys that can move. And by the way, let me ask you something. I kind of went off on a rant here. Does anybody call Aaron Rodgers a dual threat quarterback? Alex Smith, before that leg injury, Alex Smith was more athletic than Patrick Mahomes. How come nobody called Alex Smith a dual threat quarterback? I kind of don't want to touch base on what I'm trying to get at, but I think you guys can kind of see where I'm going. If people call dual threat for a particular reason, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But anyway, let's just table that here. I'm not on coke. I am super jacked up. I'm almost done with this energy drink. I'd rather oh yeah, me too. But what Houston gave up for Tunsil was ridiculous. Did you hear about Denver's offer? Yeah, if I remember right, wasn't it? Wasn't it a first and a second? I actually didn't think it was terrible, to tell you the truth. But I actually don't know what it is. I'd rather kept draft picks and the money we'll have to pay them. If you're talking about Tunsil, then yeah, I mean, Houston gave Tunsil a ton of money. We'll have to pay Orlando Brown too, by the way. One probably do they pick at 27 and 31. Yes, Baltimore picks 27 and 31. 27, I think they'll pick, and then 31 they could get a little creative with, or 27 if they find somebody they love, they could trade up and then they'll stay at 31. My personal opinion, Baltimore will use one of those picks and then trade the other one. Get very creative. Baltimore's a fun team come draft time. True of words have never been said. Funk, his highlight videos of him running the ball are damn impressive. Mac was juking Notre Dame guys in the Final Four game. People were with him. And what he's talking about is different between dual threat guys and mobile guys. And he's right. It's good to see these two agreeing on something. I think hell just froze over. This is why I think San Francisco gets Jones. Dude is running their system at Bama. A lot of people feel this way, Dustin. I personally think, and we've been talking so much about this trade that we haven't gone back and talked about this at all. And I want to hear it from you because if I remember right in the comments, you said that you had experience with epilepsy and what Justin Fields is going through. I think the whole reason San Francisco traded up is because they want Wilson. And I'm sticking by my picks. I think Justin Fields goes number 2 to the Jets despite the epileptic issue. And I think number 3 is going to be Zach Wilson. That's what I think. Now, they look, I'll be the first one to say I'm wrong. And between now and Wednesday, I have to do a lot of thinking. I have to wonder, what am I going to do? Is Atlanta going to take Kyle Pitts? Is they going to trade? Those are all great questions. And listen, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. And I have no problem saying, hey, Dustin, man, you're right, man. You know, Mac Jones was the pick at 3 for San Francisco. A lot of people agree with you. I'm in a minority, and I still think that Justin Fields is going to go number 2. And then Zach Wilson's going to go number 3 to San Francisco. I'm not sold on Mac at 3, but I can still see it, especially if Fields having epilepsy. We haven't really talked about this too much because I know a couple of you guys mentioned you have some expertise with epilepsy. I do not. I do have a good friend of mine. I don't want to mention who he is, but we were friends for years. And finally, he mentioned he had epilepsy because he has a nervous tic. I never would have known until he brought it up. Works just fine, but then he mentioned that he has issues with it. Now, the Justin Fields situation is that doctors told him that members of his family have had it and they just outgrew it. They get older, it goes away, it's manageable with medication. Many players in the NFL have had epileptic seizures and medicine to counter that, and they've had no issues. I personally, without knowing anything about the specifics, without any medical training or any medical knowledge or no epileptic knowledge myself, from what I understand, it's going to be a non-issue. And I'm standing by Fields going number 2 to the Jets. But I want to hear from you guys because I'm seeing, all right, I see Dustin's has some information. If you have a disease that people in your family have had, and then as they get older, it goes away, I don't think that's a deal breaker, man. But I want to hear from you guys because I do not know. And thus, hey, Fields may go 3. I still got him at 2. Wow. Okay, Dustin. Yes, please, dude, educate, man. And God, if I said anything sensitive, last thing I want to do is insult anybody. So if I said anything in that rant that I went on, that I'm not on cocaine, but I'm ranting like a cocaine madman, I did. If I did anything, please, I do not take any offense. So, but it's a lifetime thing. You have a neurologist for life. I did not know that. Finally finished my energy drink. Let's put this. Oh, let's put this right here. Okay. One thing I will say is that the majority of NFL teams have first-rate medical personnel. That said, the Chargers guy punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung. So, I didn't know this though, and that's another thing is that hey, maybe you always have to have a neurologist on staff. That is a good point because if that's the case, then that may be something that dissuades an NFL team from taking him. I see your point why Baltimore won, but they also gave the Chiefs a solution to their left tackle problem. You help out your toughest challenge to make the Super Bowl. I get that. God, excuse me. I don't think they help. I actually think they help themselves because they get all these draft picks. And they also lost some players in free agency. They're not ready. I mean, they're not ready. I mean, Buffalo does not have a great defense, but you played them in the playoffs and you're held to 3 points. So you got to make upgrades. And I think that they're looking at Buffalo and Kansas City. Like they need extra players because they did lose, what was it, Matthew Judon. I think Des Bryant's no longer with the team. They need like a number one wide receiver. They got Sammy Watkins. I thought that was brilliant. But me and you know how many games is Sammy Watkins going to be healthy? What's the over under? 8, 9? I mean, but you still had to account for Matthew Judon. You got to figure out how to account for that. If I remember right, I think one of their safety positions. So you're taking a player who's not going to be a part of your team, and you got 3 good draft picks for him. No, Baltimore did not help Kansas City. Baltimore helped themselves, and they clearly made their team better by getting rid of a player who was not going to be a part of their team to a team that was desperate and overpaid. That's why I feel Kansas City lost this trade is because they way overpaid. Now, I also said this, they way overpaid for Frank Clark. And it's true. I stand by that. The Chiefs did not have to give up as much draft capital to the Seahawks. But they won that trade in hindsight because the Chiefs won a Super Bowl. And every pick they gave to Seattle, they used for another defensive end. It was like 3 or 4 draft picks. And they even used a 3rd-round draft pick for a 1-year rental in Javon Clowney. But I've been saying this too. I think Seattle's done some really dumb things in the draft. And I thought overpaying for Jamal Adams was smart because they haven't made any good use of their last several draft picks. So, ranting like man here today. Oh, all right. Let's hear this. My hot take for draft day, Packers and Broncos. Wow. Make a trade. Driscoll and Hamilton and maybe a few draft picks and Jordan. Wow. Jordan Love in Denver. It would take more than that. It would take more than that, but Driscoll and Hamilton and maybe a few picks. All right, let me ask you something, Denver Gator. Driscoll, by the way, for those you don't know, Jeff Driscoll, backup quarterback, career backup, has some athletic ability, not a starter caliber. Hamilton, wide receiver out of Penn State, drawing a complete blank on his first name. Player I really liked, if I remember right, 3rd-round draft pick, has some athletic ability. In Green Bay, he would be the number 2 receiver. In Denver, he's may not make the team because Denver's actually loaded at wide receiver currently. If you want Jordan Love in Denver, how would you feel about a 1st-round pick, number 9, Driscoll and Hamilton? All right, no, that doesn't make any sense. Hold on, let me double check something real fast. I'm going to double check here. I think okay, let's do this. Got it. How's this sound? Pick number 40, Driscoll, Hamilton. Pick number 40, you get Jordan Love. How do you feel about that? Throw that out, Jeff. That's actually not bad. You know what? It sounds crazy, but it may work. But how would you feel about that? Your number 2 pick, a high draft pick, 40. That's a lot of draft capital, by the way. Like Fields, and taking him could cost some guys their jobs in San Francisco. I'm going to tell you something right now. Whoever, oh, wow, I am really far behind on comments. I'm sorry, guys. It's not because I'm ranting either. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm really, I am okay, I'm a half an hour behind on comments. I am very sorry, guys. All right, here's the drill. Whoever San Francisco takes at 3 is probably going to cost somebody their jobs. And more than likely, it's going to be both the general manager and head coach. Because look at the division you're in. All right. The Rams got better. The Cardinals got better. Seattle's a 12-4 team that actually looks better. You're in a division with 3 teams that are going to win 10 plus games. You're not winning 10 plus games. All right. A lot of people think that what's his name? The head coach in San Francisco. A lot of people forgot his name. Doesn't matter. A lot of people keep saying he's a genius. All right. He's been there 4 years. He's had 1 winning season, 2 seasons, double-digit losses. But no, 3 seasons, 3 out of 4 years, double-digit losses, but he's a genius. No, when they lose double digits again, he's probably going to be fired. Kyle Shanahan, I'm sorry. And you know what? Denver Gator had a good point. If he gets fired, does Denver hire him? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Denver at least talks to him, brings him in as offensive coordinator at least. Be a lot of fun for Denver. It sucked for me as a Chiefs fan. Oh, yeah. I would laugh at the 49ers. If man, I'm sorry. I'm so far behind. If you're talking Fields, I mean, here's the thing. San Francisco picks 1, 2, and 3 are already set in stone. All right. Picks 1, 2, and 3. They're going to be 3 quarterbacks. We don't know. The Jets know who they're going to take. The 49ers know who the Jets are going to take. As far as I'm concerned, really the draft starts at 4 because you're going to have 3 quarterbacks. But what's Atlanta going to do? And that's where the draft's going to be. I can't wait for the draft to start. I think Mac beating Drew Brees' 22 passing record is damn impressive. Depends on what the Niners value. I'm telling you now, the Panthers won't think twice about taking Jones. Wow. Okay. And this is awesome news. This is awesome because here's what I like. You're a Panthers fan, and you're telling me you're okay with Mac Jones at 8, regardless of Darnold. That's interesting. That move makes me believe the cap don't exist. Are you talking about this move? I'm sorry. I'm so far behind. Just backload contracts. Once you pointed out those backloaded contracts, I actually thought Carolina was doing a great job. Then you pointed out those backloaded contracts. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You don't want to do this at all because you're building your team with young players. Now, all of a sudden, you got to get rid of a bunch of guys thanks to these contracts. Doesn't make any damn sense. The Chiefs basically had 5 new starters in the Super Bowl. Can't do any worse. You're right. You are right. The Chiefs basically did have 5 new starters. Now, I'm not saying that the offensive line is worse. I'm not saying that at all. But people think that we're going to have this all-star. I have a buddy of mine who said Chiefs may have the best offensive line in football. No, they got 5 new starters. It's going to take a while. This is one thing people can't overestimate about the Kansas City Chiefs is that the Kansas City Chiefs run the most complex offense in the NFL. It cannot be overstated. The offensive line, you have to be in cohesion. You know what I'm trying to say. They have to work as a unit. It's 5 individual pieces that got to merge as one. Putting 5 individual pieces, it works in Madden. It doesn't work in real life. It's not as easy as people think. Hell, I think we trade down. Jones is gone. We could easily slip to 15 and get Darrisaw. And that's another thing that's interesting is a lot of people think Darrisaw is the second best tackle in the draft. Where could Darrisaw go? I'm looking at he could go 8 to Carolina. Right? He could go 14 to Minnesota. He could go 13 to the Chargers. He could go all the way to 20-something. Let me ask you this, Dustin. I am so far behind on comments. I'm a half an hour behind thanks to my rants. But let me ask you a question. How do you feel if New England trades with Carolina and New England drafts Jones? Would you be happy with Darrisaw at 15? If Darisaul's gone at 15, would you be happy with Jenkins? Maybe Jalen Mayfield, Alex Leatherwood. I had one guy you kept on putting comments. Funk got him for me. He's like, Alex Leatherwood, quit putting he's going to go in the first round. I just responded with no. And Funk's like, quit saying that. Who do you have him going with instead? And here's the deal, Funk. Alex Leatherwood slept with the dude's girlfriend. They were at a party together, and his girlfriend slept away and gave Leatherwood one of these, the oral sensation. That's a true story. Made that up. I don't know about that. I value the end of first rounds is more valuable than the top of the second because you get the fifth option year. That's actually a good point. You do get the fifth option year, but you pay them in the second round. You pay them it's either a third or a fourth, but the value, the contract value drops completely. I will always consider picks 33 through 39. I call them the gold picks because you can get a really, really good player there. I'm glad. I do, man. I love you, man. I love you. When Dan gets so far, Chubb is going to eat Brown's lunch. I don't know if you're talking about your Chubb or the Browns Chubb. I don't know which one. I'm not about backloading contracts. It's staggering, giving out the right type of bonus so they're converting and signing. You know what? If that's what they're doing, they're going to convert everything in Carolina, then Carolina's doing something good. But the way it looks right now is that in a few years, they're going to have to make some really tough decisions. That's kind of how I got it. I like how Holmes isn't showing. I'm behind, guys. I am so sorry. Our GM says if our guy falls to 8, we are getting him. We're traded for Donald days after Jones. Niner talks heated up. And by the way, just so you know, all teams talk a bunch of trash right now. Do not believe anything out anybody's mouth. I don't think there's a single Cowboy fan on my show. I don't think I've ever had a Cowboys fan. But Jerry Jones talking about Kyle Pitts, I don't believe that for a second. Don't believe that for a second. Jones at 8 is a definite if he doesn't go. I could see that. It's actually funny. I could actually see New England wanting to trade with Detroit. I could see a 15-7 trade for Mac Jones. I could see it. I could also see 5. I see Detroit is like, I think Detroit and Carolina are dying to trade down. And they're promoting a lot of this Mac Jones talk because if Jones gets it doesn't matter. Let's just say it's not Jones. There's going to be a quarterback, Trey Lance or Justin Fields, who starts the slide. And there's going to be talk because the Detroit Lions have been saying, they've been pretty quiet, but they've released, hey, if the right guy's available at 7. So is there a possibility a team's going to trade up to 6 with Miami? Maybe Miami doesn't want to take Jamar Chase. Maybe Kyle Pitts is already gone, right? Maybe Kyle Pitts is gone and they're like, hey, we'll make a trade. It's like, I'm trying. I sold some Coke. I'm not on Coke. I love the play against Ohio State where Jones ran an option with Najee Harris and he had a lane to run for 20 yards and had people in coverage and he dumped it to Najee. I remember that play. Bacchiardi is signing after the draft, so the Ravens don't know compensatory picks. Okay, I didn't know that. Or You're talking about Pittsburgh, isn't it? Villanova, which I didn't know he was re-signed, by the way. I'll have to look at that. Who won the Stafford trade? In my opinion, Detroit won because Detroit. Now here's the deal: Detroit did win, but they got to do something with those draft picks. All right. My opinion is that you use this pick to help build around your quarterback, and either next year or 2023, you get your quarterback, and you got to hit on that quarterback. But absolutely, 100% the Lions won that trade. For a guy on Coke, he goes through comments like he's on downers. All right, I'm reading slow, and I'm not on Coke. Sean McDermott is going to be that. Sean McDermott is going to be, and I don't know. Dan, I think RPO bounce will be dictated by team. They don't have to be run heavy for it to affect the whole offense. They just need to be able to run at will when they want and let teams pick. Excuse me. Now my coffee's cold. No, I agree. I agree. And it's kind of funny because the team that needs to run the ball more would be the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills actually had less running yardage than the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Buffalo Bills' third leading rusher by just, I think it was like 30 yards, was Josh Allen. Out of 16 Buffalo rushing touchdowns, Josh Allen had 8. That's a team that needs to run the ball more. Kansas City, shit. You know what? I'm going to get on comments. I'm going to stagger that rant here. How to lose. 1 year rental would make the cost worse. Yeah, yeah. And I haven't seen that guy, and keep in mind I haven't seen him before. Hopefully he wasn't scared off by my super ranting. But yeah, this isn't a 1 year rental. They may move him over to the right side, but this isn't a 1 year rental. The Lions, because Stafford won a dot and they got 3 good picks. The first 2 are no-brainer good picks, and the third this year with the wide receiver depth quit. Yeah, definitely. I do like the picks. Keep in mind, you got to hit with those picks. You got to hit with those picks. So, but yeah, I 100% think the Lions won that trade. Although they probably tag them in. They could. They could tag him in 2022, definitely. And that's going to be interesting. My opinion is that either shortly, like in the next week or two, they sign him to a long-term deal. But I really think it's going to be mid-season. I think if he plays well, he could get a big extension mid-season. I'm almost hoping the Chiefs sign him to a long-term deal before the season starts, just to have him locked down. And then if they have to move him to the right side, that's fine. You have your right tackle spot solidified. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But if they do sign him, it needs to be a club-friendly deal, which I don't know if Brown would go for. Brown may want to roll the dice, but keep in mind, it's a third-round pick. He's not making a ton of money, so if the Chiefs offer him a small price for a left tackle, they could say, hey, 3-year, $50 million deal. Well, that's a really good number. However, a Pro Bowl left tackle, that's not a good deal. You see what I'm saying? Kudos for Lions. Yeah, absolutely. Hot take. I think McVay is on the hot seat. I don't think so. That's interesting though. I don't have any Rams fans here, but I think the Rams make the playoffs. Then they're okay. Now, do you think he's on hot seat because it's Super Bowl or bust? Maybe. I mean, if the Rams go 8-10, I still think that, or 8-9. I'm sorry, 17 games. Even if they go 8-9, it's still okay. I don't think he is. That's interesting. I'm not watching day 3 of the draft. Going to visit my 3-year-old cousin on Saturday. Kyron. I don't blame you, man. Welcome to the show, man. I don't recognize you, man, so I'm glad you're here. Hopefully, even though I am very behind on comments and not on Coke, you guys all remember, give me a thumbs up. Fuck, can you imagine if we took, yeah. I don't know what the Denver deal was, by the way. I would imagine it's Razine. I would have been done. Funk, you can always have room on the Chiefs bandwagon. I bet 58 is worth a lot more than any other. Yeah, I do love the fact that the Chiefs get 2 second-round picks. I can't wait for Friday. Next Friday is going to be fantastic. No show on Friday, by the way. I'm going to be watching the draft. So, yeah. It's funny that you say we can't take it for granted the Chiefs aren't the best team, that the O-line isn't better, but then you say the Chiefs gave up 3 starters. My logic is inconsistent. You're saying the draft pick certainly pan out and be started. No. Here's what I'm saying is that they're giving up potentially 3 starters. The Ravens have done a very good job drafting players. And that's what I'm looking at is every single draft pick. There is a big difference between the first, third, and fourth for the second being the 42nd. Okay. You're taking the numbers and you're adding them all together to say, hey, the value is pick number 42. I'm saying that it's different because pick 42 is completely different than a first, third, and fourth round pick because it could potentially be 3 starters. Because the Chiefs last year, now Nang, he sat out, but he would have been the starter in the Super Bowl at right tackle. Maybe left. Javaris Sneed, starter. CEH, starter. So the first, third, and fourth picks, it's completely different than the 42nd pick. If you combine it into the 42nd pick, like you're saying, then the 42nd pick for Orlando Brown, that's a win. But multiple picks that could be multiple starters for a player that didn't want to play, that wasn't going to play, is a win for Baltimore. Hopefully I made that on sense here. And no QB, good God. Dan isn't on Coke. He's on a diet. You know what? Is that because I'm getting fat? I still can't get under 195. I can't get under 195, so Steven's now calling me a fat ass. So after the show, I am going to the gym. That is fair. Millen, yes. Yeah, we didn't offer no, I really thought Stafford, but I really think that Matt Rule wanted a rookie. I was kind of surprised they made that trade, even though I kept on hearing about it. The trade for Stafford was a first for Stafford. Oh, was there a first? And oh, wow. That would have been. All right. Millen would have talked Denver into taking our third on top of the Stafford. I do not at that age. Stafford. Okay, I get it. I think the Jets are taking Wilson. Most people do. Mike, welcome, brother. I'm a little behind on the comments, but lots of people think that Wilson's going 2. And then Mac Jones is going to go 3. And then Atlanta at 4 could do Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Kyle Pitts. Lots of people agree with you, man. Lots of people agree with you. I'm just going in a different direction. I don't mind being wrong. But Mike, I'm curious. If you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. Are you putting action on it? So, oh, God, thank God we got home. Yeah, so far, Stafford's age wouldn't be what worried me. It'd be the injuries. Yeah. That's the thing about this pick is that if you get Stafford and you're guaranteed Stafford at 17 games for the regular season, then kudos. But there's no guarantee he's going to be healthy. His starting left tackle is 144 years old. Actually, he's 39. That's another thing that you got to worry about is that the Rams' offensive line situation isn't perfect. And Matthew Stafford, after, 8 straight seasons, never missing a game. Last 2, he wasn't able to play all 16 games. So now you're putting him behind an offensive line with some question marks. And you're hoping he's healthy. That's a lot to ask. A lot of people feel like the Rams, I keep hearing Rams definitely. No, they're not. They're not the favorites. Tampa Bay's hands down the favorites to win the NFC. I don't even think it's close. Yeah. I would thought we'd at least get a first out Stafford. You were right. I was wrong. One Pride 40 because I kept on saying they'd give up a lot less. I've always said that Jones doesn't fall past Atlanta, and when the Niners were rumored for Jones, they wanted to trade down, and the Panthers traded for Darnold Jones at 3 for sure. Lots of people agree with that. Lots of people agree. I think the Niners made this trade because they want Wilson. In my opinion, Wilson is the number 2 quarterback. I think he has phenomenal arm talent, and if he goes to the right team and the right system, he's going to be a superstar. All right. Dan, my father has epilepsy, and while I was a teen, I had to jump in the front seat because my father had seizure while driving. Wow, holy shit, man. Again, I am not a medical professional, but what I keep hearing is that members of his family have had it and it's gone away as they've gotten older. It's not affected him in any way, shape, or form. As far as epileptic seizures, I have no real knowledge about it. I have a good buddy of mine I'm really close to who had a form of epilepsy for his whole life. I didn't know about it. We were friends for like 5 or 6 years, really close friends. He told me about it. I never knew. After he told me, he had what I'd refer to as a nervous twitch. I never would have noticed it. So it's very minor. Now, is he an NFL player? No. But it didn't really affect his day-to-day. But he did mention he had to get medication changed from time to time. So without knowing specifically the specifics of Justin Fields, without zero medical knowledge, I don't think it's going to affect his draft stock. Now, if an NFL doctor or somebody like yourself who has more knowledge than I do, excuse me, I'm sorry. If they come out and say, hey, look, this, we don't want to take the chance, then of course he's not going to be the pick. So, yeah. Epilepsy never goes away as a pre-existing condition. It was caused by serious trauma to the brain. For my daughter, it was a stroke. Wow, holy shit, man. For Fields, it was a brain bleed. Medicines make it dormant. Okay, so okay, okay. It's not okay. So here's what I heard: that members of his family have had it, and it's just gone away. Like it's non-existing. You grow out of it. This is a terrible, terrible analogy. So please don't be offended. Last thing I want to do is offend anyone. But as a little kid, I had bleached blonde hair. As an adult, I have brown hair. That's the way it sounds. That's the way it sounds. Is like it's something he had to deal with as an adult. It would be a non-issue. That's the way it sounds. That's the way I interpreted it. Again, no knowledge, zero knowledge. But from what I've gathered is that it has not affected him playing high school football. It has not affected him playing college football. And from what I'm told, it will have zero effect on him in the pros. Now, again, zero knowledge, not an expert, not a doctor. Don't have to deal with it myself. My buddy has a nervous tick that if he didn't tell me about it, I would have never known about it. I would never known he had a neurological disorder, would have had no clue. That's how I'm interpreting it. So I could 100% be wrong about this. So I'm kind of glad you guys are commenting because you guys educate me, man. This is not I have all the answers. I know everything. I comment on everything. I'll give my opinion, but I'm often wrong. So I'm glad that you guys are informing me. This could change my mock draft. It really could. So I don't know these answers. From what I've gathered and what I know so far, it's not going to affect him. But you guys tell me. OSU is always a demerit away from losing their football program. Doesn't shock me they would risk Fields healthy. Normally, I would say, come on now, but no, you're right. Ohio State famously has been kind of a shady program for quite some time, especially when it comes to football. Everybody knows about Texas football. Ohio is football as a football nut state, man. They take their high school football very seriously. Ohio State football they take extremely seriously. In all fairness. Ohio State, Michigan, #1 college football rivalry. #1. I try every year to watch that game, even on DVR. Even if it's going to be a blowout, I always want to watch it. My opinion, #1 rivalry. I mean, Alabama, Auburn has been, like, as far as the actual talent between the two teams over the last couple of years, probably been a little higher. All-time greatest rivalry in college football, Ohio State, Michigan. That's #1, period. You do bring up some good points. Do I think they risked Justin Fields to play? I don't think so. And the reason why is that team's loaded. That team's loaded. But would it surprise me if Ohio – here's the deal. If I ever hear Ohio State sit with sanctions, not bowl eligible this year, I'm not shocked at all. My dad got hit with a brick when he was 6. I was in it. Oh, okay. But he lost his life. Okay, holy shit, man. I'm dude, Funk. I'm sorry you've had to deal with that, man. It's got to be a bad thing. Again, not a medical professional. I have no idea what the severity of Justin Fields' issue is. From what it sounds like it's something completely manageable. But okay, I'm sorry, guys. I am no, I am not even close to caught up. Man. All right. I don't have that answer. Funk, we've had yeah. It's funny because you guys argue all the time, but you're basically the same dude. Yes, one probably okay. All right. That was the answer. Okay. Fields could very well have CTE, and you don't know that till an autopsy. I'm sorry. The way I understood it is that I believe a lot of these teams have to pass a physical, pass a battery of tests. The NFL does a lot of testing before. You have to keep in mind that he was able to participate in pro day. If you remember Maurice Hurst, he was going to be a first round pick, and he had a heart murmur, and he wasn't even allowed to participate in the combine. So the fact that he was able to go ahead and do all these participating in the pro days, or have full participation in the pro days, even though I believe everybody knew about this before the pro days. So again, I'm not saying it was a bad. This is a minor thing. I'm not saying that at all. It sounds like with his symptoms and his ability, I don't think it's going to affect his draft stock. I could be wrong, and more you guys are telling me I'm kind of leaning maybe I'm wrong about this. Adby from that shot he took against Clemson, but he said it runs in the family. The shot that he took against Clemson, I didn't think it was a dirty hit, but I know that the Clemson player was flagged. I think he was ejected, actually. Excuse me. The way I understand it, it was that he was just banged up. They wanted to check for a concussion. It had nothing to do with epilepsy. That's the way I hear about it. But yeah, it runs in his family, and his family, here's the way I understand it. His family had it when they were younger, and when they're older, it's a non-issue. The way I understand it, it's no medication, no nothing. All right. The way I understand it is that it's something that affects you as a child, as an adult, nothing. Now, I don't know if the people in his family still have to take medication or not. I don't have that answer. So I'm learning a lot from you guys. So that's the whole thing, is that we don't know. But from what I'm gathering, it's a non-issue, folks. That's what I gathered, but I could be wrong. That's bullshit. Seizures don't run in the family. They always have a root cause. That I didn't know. Holy shit, man. Wow. God, I don't have kids, man. God, I hope she's okay, man. Wow. Holy shit, man. I'm really sorry, dude. I'm stunned. I'm hopeful that she lives a good life. You seem like a great guy. So wow, shit. I don't have answers, man. But hopefully she's okay. You seem like a great guy. You're probably a great dad. You know, you're part of this show, so you're a good guy, obviously. So yeah, dude, wow, holy shit. People that don't know just don't know. Exactly, and I don't know. Let's be very clear. I don't know. One Pride 40 didn't know. Funk, I couldn't agree more. I can't believe Fields is even allowed to play. Never will forget the NFL letting Gaines Adams play with a heart murmur after doctor said not to, and he died here. You know what? I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Man, you guys kind of got me changing my mind here. I'm going to have to do a lot of research here before I give up my final mock draft. As of right now, I still got him going number 2. But after reading what you guys have told me, I may have to change my mind. You're right. There's no lie here. There's no lie here. One Pride 40 speaks the truth here. After hearing that, I've cooled down. I'm thinking the same way, man. I'm really thinking the same way. They probably signed. Okay, they 100% do. I hate to say this, but Oliver Stone took a lot from the NFL. If you remember Any Given Sunday, LT, his name was Shark. Remember, he had a broken neck, and he's like, look, I got playing this game. I'll sign a waiver. And he's like, yeah. You have to sign waivers, yeah. 100%. Denver with Denver behind 8 ball with trading up for a QB would have to give a lot of capital, player trade back plus pick 40 to the pack, 100% let them compete best man. Okay, so you are with it took me a while to get to that, so I am very sorry, but yeah, so your backup quarterback, a wide receiver, And pick number 40 for now keep in mind you gotta love. Being they played at Utah State, maybe you watched a lot more of them. The games I watched of them, I was not impressed. I did not like what I saw out of him. I watched him lose. He played in 2 blowout losses. I was not impressed with Jordan Love at all. I saw some athleticism. I thought he should have came back to school. But keep in mind he would have been in this draft class, he wouldn't be what, 6? He would basically be like Kellen Mond in this draft. Some athletic potential, but I didn't see the hype, really, to tell you the truth. I didn't see the Jordan Love hype. Now, if you like him, then yeah, you know. I forgot about the Gaines Adams thing completely. You really kind of changed my mind on here. So I'm gonna have to look at this and do a lot of research. But I don't know what to do now, to be honest with you. Clamor for draft pick to start right away and sit lock. Denver is going to be a real fun team in this draft because I could see Denver going to 4, getting their guy. I could see Denver trying to trade down. I still think Denver at 9 could take Xavier Collins, which would be a massive reach. But look at the division you're in. You're playing against a couple tight ends in Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. I'm saying tight end because they're just big receivers. So getting a 6'3", 6'4" linebacker who can rush the passer, drop back into coverage, stuff to run, makes a lot of sense to me because and I think I've said this many times, Vic Fangio is an old linebacker coach. He was a linebacker coach for the Dome Patrol, the greatest linebacking unit of all time. My opinion, the NFL Network's opinion, if you want to find 4 better linebackers in Dome Patrol, sure, go ahead. That played together. I don't know of one. I don't know if one would be close, but Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Xavier Collins, and who would be number 4? That would be probably the 4 best. I think Xavier Collins is going to be a superstar in this league. So I think Denver getting him at 9 would be really, really interesting. Now, if Denver traded back and was able to get Xavier Collins, I'd be like, oh, fuck. So, anyway, that's me. I didn't know either, man. Kind of floored by some stuff. I swear to God, if we trade 8th and Jones, and Jones is there, New England wins. Dustin, you and Funk have an official invitation to join the Chiefs bandwagon. There's plenty of room. All of Kansas City is basically bandwagon fans. So come join the bandwagon, get aboard Team Mahomes. It's a lot of fun right now. The Chiefs are a lot of fun right now. So yeah. I'm not sure there's point in commenting when you're this far behind, but reconverting roster bonuses, et cetera, signing bonus for the Chiefs. Yes. And you're 100% correct. And I was thinking maybe that's what Carolina's doing. I'm not sure, but that's what Kansas City's been doing. And Brett Veach has done a fantastic job. So yeah. Yeah. And this, I don't know what it's doing this year. Okay. Should I bring up Lance and Funky Carl? Yes. Actually, no. Let's be on the same side here today. Okay. I'm almost I'm 20 minutes behind. I'm almost caught up. Oh God, Susie. I know. Yeah, if Aaron Donald goes down, I'm thinking the Rams are like, well, let's say 17 games. I think they're like 8 to 10 wins, maybe 500. Donald really makes that defense go around. Plus, you lose your defensive coordinator, so that's a tough one. That's a possibility. Don't forget they also have pick 63. I'm actually thinking that what they'll do is they could take 58, trade up, 63, trade down. The Chiefs are going to be a very fun team to watch in the second round. I actually got a feeling that from 58, the Chiefs are going to trade up. Just a feeling. Jesus. All right. I read some earlier FOs. I don't see the value after the first 80 picks. If that's true, Chiefs didn't lose anything that matters. Don't forget the COVID stuff. Yes. Yes. The one thing I have to point out is that the Baltimore Ravens draft better than most teams. That's kind of a reason why the Baltimore Ravens, I really think, do a really good job. I loved their draft last year. They did a really good job. They got Patrick Queen. For some reason or another, Seattle passed on him. Starter. The Ohio State running back. J.K. Dobbins, starter. They had a third round pick was an Ohio State linebacker going to start opposite Queen, except on passing situations, they take him out. I remember they drafted Jane Prochet in the 6th round, player I just fell in love with at SMU. There was another draft pick late that I really liked, but Baltimore's always done a really good job drafting. It's not like you're talking – I know Cleveland has done pretty good the last couple of years, but it's not like you're talking Cleveland or a team that drafts well. Baltimore drafts really well. Giving Baltimore extra draft capital is different. I got a lot of respect for the Ravens organization. So I'd admit to a buddy of mine, I'm from Baltimore. Just full disclosure. I'm originally from Baltimore, so not a Ravens fan at all. Actually, I'm old enough. I actually went to Baltimore Colts games as a kid. But I'm not really a Ravens fan. But I got family in Baltimore. True story. So. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Oh, God. All right. Oh, shit, man. It's good you guys are okay. I'm going fast, and I lost my place. God damn it. Okay, hold on. I'm getting better here. I'm only now 15 minutes behind. I think you guys take a tackle. I'm leaning towards Carolina taking a tackle. I had Patrick Surtain for a long time because look at the division you're in. You got Mike Evans, you got Michael Thomas, you got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley. Now, Ridley's not a tall guy, but the rest of the wide receivers in this division, 6'3", 6'4", and you're starting 2 corners before they actually just signed a couple taller corners. They're not superstars, but I thought Surtain made a lot of sense to Carolina. I'm kind of leaning towards tackle now. And Dustin convinced me, man. I can change my mind. Fair enough. And why? I think we're trying to win now, but won't win 8 games. We're being too aggressive, too fast. I think the Lions could be a 10-win team. They're my sleeper pick. I think golf is. Hey, Dustin, here's a drill. We do a lot of sports betting here. A lot of sports betting advice. If you're a sports bettor, I'm going to win you some money this year. If you are going to put some bets down, I want to know what you're taking. We do talk some sports betting here. This is awesome. Oh, man, this is great, man. Physical, my ass gained out of shit. No, you're right. I like what you guys are doing. One prayer doing. No, I do like what Detroit's doing. I don't think it's going to be successful this year. I think this year is going to be a bad year for Detroit, but I think 2022 and beyond. And I actually think the same thing about Carolina. But now that you got Darnold there, Carolina's an interesting team. Here's a drill. After the 4th of July, I'm going to break down all 32 teams, and I do all 32 breakdowns the same way. I talk about what I like, I talk about what I don't like, and then I give the Vegas over-under. So you guys could land Pitts and Waddle. Look out. Well, it'd have to be either or, and I'd be shocked if Pitts got all the way down to 8. I would be shocked. That would floor me. Waddle at 8 would be interesting, but if Carolina trades down – oh, no, I'm sorry. You're talking Detroit. Pitts might be available at 7, maybe. Waddle, I feel pretty confident won't be the pick. But if Detroit does trade down and gets Waddle later on, that'd be interesting. Yeah. No, I agree with Funk. Man, Funk, why are we agree on everything this year? Next year we're not going to agree on anything. Picks 1 through 32, we're going to have 32 disagreements. All right, but we agree on almost everything this year. But she's okay. Thank God, man, dude. Wow, shit, man, it's kind of weird, man. We're all kind of getting along here, man. So no, we aren't personally. Where I'm at right now. By the way, I have been watching more Cox. Really like this guy. I'm almost thinking he'd look really good in a Chiefs uniform in that 63rd pick, but I'm kind of leaning against that right now. But I'll have more information when I release my video or when I do my final mock draft. I'm going to talk about Seattle, the Rams, Kansas City, and the Houston Texans and who they're going to take in the second and Houston Texans third round. So he wants a big winner. He can win the big game, make the big throws. I think he's referring to Mac Jones. He might have been. Amari Rodgers and Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace is a guy I really like and nobody's talking about, but he could end up in the first round. It would be very late first round, but he could. No, I want a first for next year. Man. Well, you know what? You have 2 first-round picks, and the question is how good does Detroit think JT Sullivan? Right now, today, JT Sullivan's going to be the number 1 pick. So, and how high do you think of him? I don't know his name. The kid out of Clemson. He's going to be the first pick in the draft in 2023, and I think he's going to be a superstar. And you have 2 picks in the first round both seasons, so you can get creative. All right, I'm almost caught up. And I'm going to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes. I'm at 1:36 right now, an hour 36. Don't forget, guys, give me a thumbs up, man. Give me a thumbs up, man. I would really appreciate it. You guys have been super fantastic. I absolutely love this. This is my favorite thing to do in the whole world. Look, I'm a good-looking guy, obviously. And I could go out on a date with a beautiful girl, or I can have her hang out here and talk football. This is my favorite thing to do in the whole world, is turning on the camera, got the microphone, and talking football. I can't thank you guys for joining me. I'm really, really looking forward to the draft. I cannot wait for the draft. And then after the draft, I'm going to do a draft video breaking down the draft. And then the next show, two or three shows, I'm going to talk about my draft review and my draft grades. And I'll obviously I want to hear from you guys. So you got them all. That's awesome. Not a matter of loving love. I just thought he was overrated, would like Fields or Lance, but we can't give up future capital with staff being on the hot seat with Love. But Love would be good. No, he would be good competition. And here's the thing is that he would. Let me ask you this, though. What if you trade for Love and Locke beats him out? Is it a waste? I don't get it, to be honest with you. If I'm Denver, I just go all in on Drew Lock this year, and if he doesn't pan out, you go ahead and get your quarterback next year, whether it's free agency or the draft. But I would another thing you could look at is that, are you going to be in a position with the 9th pick in the draft again? That's another question. So what they're thinking is go from 9 to 4, which they could do. But I warn you, if Denver goes from 9 to 4, they're going to give up a lot. So, I mean, just be warned. So, on the first next year, I would love it too, but I think we'd have to move too far for Jenkins. I could be wrong, but I would love an extra second this year, and I see it being great for defense. Well, I do think that I really think that both Detroit and Carolina are itching to trade back. And I think the odds would be about 50-50 right now for Detroit. I really believe that. But I think if Detroit picks at 7, they could go in a variety of different ways. But if they trade back, could they get Jenkins? Absolutely. I think it'd be a great fit. This Jenkins would be a great fit for Detroit. If you take him at 7, I'm going to give you a very bad draft grade. Just fair warning. But yeah, Jenkins later in the draft, that would be a really, really, really good move for Detroit. I went to the defensive prospects next year. In the first round, that was a question. I think Carolina gets a lot of credit for staying pat. They're winners in my book for that. They're staying at 8. We'll have to see. I really think they could trade down. Maybe because the quarterback as Willis came out and McCall might come out. Possibility. One Pride Monk. Ooh, I'm going to tell you this right now. My opinion, yes, Kellen Mond will go in round 2. I love Kellen Mond. There was a chance There's a chance that somebody's going to try to trade, I'm going to say 28 and down and get Kellen Mond. I love this kid. Yeah, and if we don't grab a QB to 2023, you can still grab. Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense. Yes, I knew it. Maybe you are the. I've had season tickets a lot longer than you, Scott. A lot longer. I went to every single Chiefs game in 2012 when they were 2-14, including one of the worst games ever, weather-wise. It was like 0 with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. It was terrible. Great game. Ended up being 38-31, and the Chiefs lost like they did every game, it seemed like. But, yeah. Kansas City's a fair weather town. You know it, and I know it. You know it. And case in point, how many KU Jayhawk fans are there right now? There's 0. But come the beginning of March, you can't go 10 feet without running into a Jayhawk jersey. So, Funk, I'm a broken record, but I want Haskell Garrett next year. All right, you've been saying it. You've been saying it. LOL, a yes and a no. No one is ever happy with a split. No, we need to spend that pick on a linebacker. Plus, I think Mond might end up and move in. Yes, he could go 19 or 20. He really could go 19 or 20. QB overdrive in this draft, Garrett and Thibodeau. That would actually be interesting. Thibodeau is a fun name. All right. If we can gain a second this year, we can get both a linebacker and strong safety in the second. That would be interesting. That actually would be a lot of fun. Actually, for Detroit, it would be a fun thing to do. And then you get your quarterback either in 2022 or 2023. Now, let me ask you, Lions fans, this. What happens if Goff just plays lights out? Is there any chance Goff is your guy, or are you guys just writing it off completely? So Jason Ua to the Bills can't happen. Dude is my sleeper pick in this draft. He's an interesting player. For those of you that don't know, at the Pro State, it's kind of funny because a lot of us have been joking around about the Penn State Pro Day, but at the Penn State Pro Day, 6'5", I think 250 plus, 251, 2, something like that. Ran a 4.36. The thing that scares me is that he played in 6 games this year, didn't have 1 sack. How can a defensive lineman who runs a 4.36 not get 1 sack in the Big Ten? Because if I'm this dude and the coach is like, okay, you have a blocking assignment, I'm thinking I'm going to just get 1 sack. He got skunked. That scares me. Not even 1. Now he was, I think, second team Big Ten, a lot of tackles for losses, but not even 1 sack. You're a defensive lineman who runs a 4.36 and you can't get 1. Not even 1. And he played in 6 games. The thing is about Owa is he looks great. He has some good tape, but you're buying on potential. Personally, I think his best fit would be like a 3-4 outside linebacker. Spoiler alert, Baltimore at 27 or 31. Replacement for Matthew Judah. Makes a lot of sense. Spoiler. So that could work. Would it happen to Buffalo? Like I said, I think he's a 3-4 guy. That's just my opinion. But could he be a 4-3 in the Buffalo? He could. To tell you the truth, if he's available in the second round, Carolina may take a look at him. He'd be a good fit because he's the type of hybrid player I think Carolina really, really wants. It'll be interesting to see what happened. So he does. Yeah, that's fair analysis. Peppers I think is a much better player. I feel sorry for whatever YouTube content creator, for whoever takes Cox. I love Cox. Funk, I know you love me some Cox. I said that wrong. You know, but Funk, you watch Garrett film. One pride I've seen him. Okay, dude. Yeah. Yes, because for those of you who don't remember, Penn State was ranked number 8 and lost like 5 straight games. Just terrible game. I was at this game, Scott. Lynn Elliott, this is the worst playoff loss in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the 3rd coldest game of all time. All right, 3rd coldest game of all time. Freezing rain. They played the Indianapolis Colts at Arrowhead Stadium, a dome team whose best player, Marshall Faulk, did not play. Lynn Elliott missed 3 field goals. 2 were inside the 40. The other one was from 43 yards. That Chiefs team should have won a Super Bowl. That was the best Chiefs team I've seen since the last 2 years. That Chiefs team, I was convinced would win a Super Bowl. They were number 1 against the run. They had the number 1 rushing offense. Derek Thomas at his absolute best on one side. Neil Smith, who led the NFL in sacks on the other side. 2 stout run-stuffing defensive tackles. 2 really, really good corners. Dale Carter went to the Pro Bowl. James Hasty did not, but James Hasty was actually the better corner. Mark Collins, who came from the Giants, transferred to free safety, team MVP. Brian Washington, strong safety, kind of like a big linebacker. Best defense I've ever seen the Kansas City Chiefs had. Best defense. They played a ton of man. They had the 2 best corners in the NFL, the 2 best pass rushers, 2 run-stuffing defensive tackles. The defense was phenomenal. They get 1 of those field goals, the Chiefs win that game. There was no chance Pittsburgh was going to beat that Chiefs team. None. But yeah. Yes, he is. Sorry about that, Jake. That game still bothers me, man. I woke up in the morning just thinking I had a nightmare. No loss will ever be worse than that 96 playoff game. I was at Arrowhead. I was at that game. It's actually funny, Scott. I actually gave a cigarette. I used to smoke back then. I gave a cigarette to a Colts fan. He's like, don't look at my hat. And I said, it doesn't matter. We're going to win. I didn't even doubt that we were going to win that game. Yeah, I was there. Have you already used the wrench first week you had it? Funk did use it. Funk did. UCF Jaguar, man. I am such a huge fan. I am geeked out that you're joining my show, man. Very excited for you. As a Chiefs fan, I have to wait till Friday. Very excited. UCF, look, I'm about ready to wrap up, but I want to know, you can email me or you can follow me on social media. You know what? I don't have the links below. I have Trevor Lawrence, obviously. At 25, I got Elijah Vera Tucker. That's who I have. He played left tackle at USC, but almost every team has him as a guard. How would you feel about that? Dying to know what you think. That I feel really good about that pick. Urban Meyer wants to build, take the best available offensive lineman. So we need to plan to get together next year's draft in KC, get a drink with Dan. I can joke about it. You know what I really want to do is I really want to be in Vegas for the draft. And James hasn't joined yet, but we keep talking about going to Vegas. But ideally, Vegas is supposed to be completely open in a couple months. In a perfect world, the way I got everything scheduled right now, I'll be kicking off the NFL Week 1 in Vegas. So anybody wants to join, drinks are on me, man. I mean, yeah, there's like free drinks there, but I mean, come on, but yeah, the plan is to kick off the NFL season in Vegas. I got some things in the works right now, and I'll keep you guys informed. As a general rule of thumb, I had a buddy of mine tell me this: you don't want to announce when you're leaving town for a week. But here's the drill: like I'm trying to spend like that from Thursday till Monday, or actually it'd be like Thursday to Tuesday. I'll leave Tuesday morning. But I'm planning on spending at least those Thursday through Sunday or Thursday through Monday. All right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days. I'm planning on that being a 5-day Vegas trip. That's the plan. And I'll try to let you guys know. So, yeah. Kansas City has some fantastic barbecues. It does have some fantastic barbecue. It's part of the reason why Stevie pointed out I'm a big fat ass. You were there at 12? All right. I was older than 12. It's hard to believe that I'm older than you because I'm so better looking, but it is smart that you started shaving your head to be more like me. That's a good thing. We try to set that out and you joke about him, but you know, if he goes to the FF and he gets in, he plays well, I will not even the Super Bowl. All right. I will buy drinks all night. I don't think he can get enough snaps and wins if it sounds good to me. I can't drink that much. You know, I'll buy both your drinks. It's kind of funny. Old age is keeping me from drinking so damn much these days. Never been to Vegas. My wife is begging me. Dude, you know, listen, if you kick off the NFL season, Dustin, a few of the people, I've given my number to a few people here. You can contact me on social media. I will always respond to my email. I got it set up now that I get an alert on my phone where before I was getting emails. I had no idea what's going on. It shows up on my phone. So if you email me, I'll get it. I have no problem giving you guys my number. Pete, even though he hasn't joined the show today, Pete's got my number. I know Scott's got it. Scott lives close by. So Scott's got my number. But if I'm going to try to give you guys a heads up, I know it's not the smartest thing to do to announce on YouTube that I'm going to be leaving my residence, but I live in a pretty safe place. So I'll roll the dice and take my chances. And if you guys want to meet out in Vegas, I'll let you guys know. And if you do want to meet up, you want to get together, hey man, we'll go ahead and we'll work it out. I haven't made any definite plans, but the plan is for right now to try to be out as soon as the season's released, as soon as it's made official. I believe the way I believe it's going to happen is that it'll start off September 9th on a Thursday and then September 12th. That's kind of what I believe is going to happen. So my goal is to be in Vegas from September 9th till the 14th. If that's what happens, of course, things in my personal life, job situation has to work out. So, yeah. I will, when I'm in Vegas, do a few shows. I have to be over 1,000 subscribers to do to go live on Facebook. So I might have to just drop a video of me in Vegas. I did that the last couple times I went to Vegas. I just made a video on my phone, posted it live. I have to, in order to do a Facebook Live, I have to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please promote my channel. Try to get me up. I was trying to get to 700 by the draft. I'm going to come up short, though. That's okay. Yeah, Funk, if you don't want to tell me, did you end up getting married in Vegas? That would have been awesome. Thibodeau and Garrett George. Oh, that would be a lot. And when my mom moved there, really? I kind of want to move out there. I kind of do want to go out there. We have to do a live with, I would love nothing more. I have to get more subscribers, but we could make a video. I just have to hold my phone, like this and, get all of us in there. I bring the hat with me to Vegas. I don't wear it all the time in Vegas. But yeah, I'll wear the hat. And by the way, if you do join me in Vegas, I will tell you step by step what I'm going to bet on. I'm probably going to make videos announcing that. But yeah, we'll have a blast. It'll be a lot of fun. Dude, seriously, you two would be brothers, and me and Funk would either get along great or get in a fist fight. And if we did get in a fist fight, I would probably lose. But great now, I'd have to be camera right. No idea to get married to everybody. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. You know what? It's one of my bucket list things. I've never been to a bachelor party. Never. I want to go to one bachelor party. I want to go to at least one. My sister's been married twice. I was at both of those weddings, but that's it. I've never been to a wedding of anybody who has not been married, or I'm sorry, it's not related to me. And I've never been to a bachelor party. I want to go to a bachelor party. My friend Scott, who may still be on here. Scott, when you get married, have a bachelor party. I'm coming. I'm just going to invite myself. I'm going to find out. I'll crash it. I don't care. And Scott's probably going to get married soon. He's the marrying type. So, yeah. Dude, no, we would, man. We probably would. We'd either love each other or get in a fist fight, and my glasses would be broken, the hat would be knocked off, and I'd do a show with a black eye. And it'd be because we didn't get along. So, there we could, dude, we can get in a fight. Dude, I have no problem with you kicking my ass physically and us sitting outside of Vegas and having a burger like a couple hours later. True story. I went to Vegas. Me and my friend ended up having a big blowout. I can't tell the story. Had a big blowout. Next day he calls me up. Hey, I'm over here at the link. You want to come by over? Yeah. Happens. Yeah, we can do that. All right, guys. I'm almost at 2 hours. I'm going to close it up. Thank you for making the show fantastic. I can't thank you enough for joining me today, talking draft stuff. Wednesday. It's coming Wednesday, 7:15, my final mock draft with the Ravens picking at 31. And as a special treat, I'm also going to reveal who Seattle, Los Angeles, Kansas City, and Houston are going to take with their first available draft pick. It's going to be a guess because you never know who's going to be available in the first round, let alone rounds 2, and with Houston in the third round. So that's it. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up when I'm out of here. What's on the Smoking Vegas? Hey, listen, if you're into sports betting, we do a lot of sports betting here. A lot of sports betting. When I say I'm an expert on football, I've been able to make a profit betting on the National Football League. And my over-unders are going to be gold. I'm going to help you make a lot of money on your over-unders. And if you can join me in Vegas, you can bet on the same things that I'm betting on. It's free. My knowledge is free this year. Next year, you might have to pay for my class. You never know. All right, man. Hey, guys, have a great night. I will see you Wednesday.